Welcome to the Explainer. Step into the dojo, because today we're diving deep into a strategic masterclass for Cambridge mathematics. Now, whether you're building foundational skills in 0580, 0606, 4024, 4037, or 4040, the mindset we're talking about today is absolutely universal. But our specific target for this session, the Cambridge AS and A-Level 9709 syllabus. We are zeroing in on the binomial expansion of a plus b to the power of n, specifically where n is a positive integer. Look, to truly conquer these rigorous math exams, you have to do so much more than just memorize a formula sheet. You have to learn to flow like water. You need to adapt your foundational knowledge to completely unseen, highly complex contexts. So let's dive right in and totally transform how you approach these critical papers.
Here's the blueprint for our session. We'll start with the binomial expansion challenge, followed by an anatomy of exam mistakes. Then we'll unpack the method mark strategy, move into systematic problem solving, and wrap up with some ultimate examiner secrets.
All right, Section 1, the binomial expansion challenge. Let's get into it. So here's a question for you. Why is applying mathematical concepts to unfamiliar contexts so incredibly hard? I mean, think about it. You might have the formula completely memorized, right? You know your combinations, you know your factorials, you understand the basic binomial theorem inside and out. But then you turn the page in the exam, and it asks you to find the coefficient of x cubed in a crazy multi-bracket scenario, something like 2 minus x times 1 plus 3x, all to the power of 5. Suddenly, pure memorization just completely fails. You can't just plug and play anymore. And this brings us to a massively important insight straight from the principal examiner reports. They stated, quote, candidates referencing cross-topic connections achieve significantly higher marks. Top-scoring students, they don't view binomial expansions in a vacuum. It's like a giant puzzle. They understand how it links to algebraic fractions, or how they might literally need to use partial fractions before even attempting an expansion. They understand the underlying mechanics, which allows them to adapt when multiple concepts are layered into a single question. Before we continue, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams at acexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now.
Section 2, Anatomy of Exam Mistakes. Let's look at where things go wrong.
To understand how to secure those top grades, we need to step into the ring and examine exactly how students lose critical marks year after year. Let's look at two completely flawed approaches from typical candidates. First up, we have Alex, the overloader. Alex knows the formula, sure, but just generates these massive, generic, exhaustive expansions. They're writing out 5 or 6 full terms, sweating through the paper when the command in the question only specifically asked for the coefficient of x squared. They're wasting precious exam time, and honestly, they're just opening themselves up to making careless arithmetic errors along the way. Then, on the other side, we have Sam, the rusher. Sam dives straight for the final numerical answer. No presentation, completely ignores strict formatting, drops vital negative signs inside the brackets. It's just a vague execution. Both of these approaches absolutely fail to link the mathematical execution to the specific scenario provided in the paper. Don't be an Alex, and don't be a Sam.
Section 3, the method mark strategy. This is where we change the game.
You have to understand that the conceptual framework of Cambridge math relies heavily on systematic analysis. It's not just about spotting the correct final number at the bottom of the page. Cambridge targets 3 distinct cognitive domains here: knowledge and understanding, application, and analysis. To secure your method marks, you must show clear, evidence-based reasoning. Simply writing down the final expanded polynomial, that entirely ignores the application and analysis domains. You've got to document how you handled the powers, how you applied those binomial coefficients, and exactly how you simplified the terms. And documenting that analytical process follows strict procedural conventions. You need proper structure with your headings, precise terminology, verification formats, and clear annotations. If you lay out your expansion cleanly, step by step, clearly showing your specific substitutions for a, b, and n before you start multiplying the whole shebang out, the examiner can actually reward your method. Even if a tiny, silly arithmetic error happens at the very end, those clear substitutions capture the majority of the marks. Stop scrolling. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2 to 3 grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to @acexams_IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly exam strategy sessions. Section 4, Systematic Problem Solving. Let's build your ultimate framework. We need an overarching procedural flow to deconstruct these unfamiliar contexts. Here is the definitive problem-solving framework you should be using.
Think of this as your 5-step kata. Step 1, identify the given information. Figure out the exact specific term you're looking for. Step 2, break it into logical steps by selecting the correct combination formula and identifying your components. Step 3, solve systematically. Use clear, undeniable algebraic notation. Step 4, check for reasonableness. Did you actually carry the negative sign from a negative term all the way through the power correctly? And finally, step 5, make your justified recommendations. State your clear mathematical conclusion, cleanly separating your final coefficient from the variable if that's what the command word asked for. Now, throughout that entire sequence, you must apply what we call evaluative thinking. This means constantly questioning your own assumptions and justifying your decisions with solid mathematical evidence. In binomial expansions, this means actively checking. Does your n value even allow for finite series? Or perhaps you need to state the exact range of x for which your expansion is mathematically valid. This level of thinking is your ultimate defense against misunderstanding the core principles of the question. Section 5, Ultimate Examiner Secrets. Let's look at the final cheat sheet.
Synthesizing direct feedback from the Cambridge Principal Examiner reports gives us a final defense against losing marks. Here is your actionable checklist against the top 3 examiner warnings. Number 1, avoid vague answers. Examiners are practically begging for specific, detailed algebraic steps showing your combinations and factorials. Number 2, check your format. Present your index laws and coefficients clearly, line by line. And number 3, context matters. Always link your final expanded coefficient back to the specific term requested in the prompt, especially if it's a multi-part question where earlier answers feed into the final result.
So, how do you ensure you never forget this when the clock is ticking in the exam room? You use this memory hack, DSE. That stands for deconstruct, solve, evaluate. First, deconstruct the complex algebra into its core binomial components. Next, solve systematically with a crystal clear method. Finally, evaluate your final answer to ensure it actually fits the scenario and constraints given. Burn DSE into your memory before you walk into that hall. It is an absolute game changer. Which leaves us with one final thought to ponder. Will you walk into your 9709 mathematics exam relying on generic, rushed answers? Or will you apply the DSE strategy to adapt, flow like water, and conquer whatever algebraic context the examiners throw at you? The theoretical foundation is yours. Now it's time to take this methodology and apply it directly to your next past paper. Students who implement these mathematics strategies see an average improvement of 2 grade boundaries, but only if they practice consistently with our weekly videos. Here's your final reminder. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to at acetheexams_IGCSE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by. Drop a comment below with your target grade for mathematics and the biggest challenge you're facing. Our team responds to every comment. Like and share this video with a study partner. Ace the Exams, your Cambridge success starts here. Keep learning, keep adapting, and I'll see you in the next explainer.